Welcome to tonight's Planning Committee of the 2nd of July 2025. The first item on the agenda, apologies for absence. Are there any apologies? Councillor Kemp?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I have apologies for Councillor Hackwell.
Councillor Campbell?
I'm substituting for Councillor Maritime.
And Councillor Hall-Cross-Scott?
Hello, Councillor Stamp. I'm substituting for the lovely Linda.
Thank you.
Councillor Kemp, sorry. I think you're substituting for Councillor Etheridge, is that right? Yes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, we've also had apologies from Councillor Pearce.
Right, thank you, Councillor Jones. Was that via email? Yeah, okay. Right, item 2 is a record of the meeting along with the update in the supplementary agenda held on 4th of June 2025 approved. Item 3 on the agenda, I can confirm that there are no late items which do not appear on the main agenda. Item 4, do any members have any disclosable pecuniary interests or other significant interests? Before moving on to agenda item 5, is it agreed by members that Councillor Nesterova speaks as ward member for item 6?
Agreed.
Thank you. I would also like to draw members' attention to the supplementary agenda with regards to the new Regulation 19 local plan in relation to the 2 applications that are on this evening's agenda. So moving on to agenda item 5, planning application for land between 46 to 52 Cliffe Road. Tom Stubbs, Senior Planner, will be presenting this application. So over to you, Tom.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening, members. This application seeks planning permission for the construction of two detached townhouses with associated parking and lands between 46 and 52 Cliffe Road, Strood. Members would like to draw your attention to the supplementary agenda, which updates a rewording of condition 14. The application site is highlighted in red. It was formerly part of the rear garden of 43 Goddington Road, and the land's been separated and to provide the houses. You can see further up the road this has happened, and these two here have happened. They're all 3-storey as well, as we'll see in the photos later. From this plan and from this aerial photo here, you can see that all the properties on this street are quite close together in close proximity. This is a photo montage of the street scene. So in the centre photo is the application site itself, and you can see due to the land levels currently that it's higher than the ground level at Cliffe Road. And then you've got these 3-storey properties. This is number 46, and they're, again, it's in close proximity to its neighbour. And then this is number 52, and you've got the other 3-storey townhouses coming up here. And this is just looking further down from the street, the application site. You can see it's just here where the vegetation is, and you see the other 3-storey development have gone here, and this photo is mainly also in here just to show there's a mixture of parallel and perpendicular parking serving this property here, which also provides one of the properties, as we'll see later in the plans. So the site's got a bit of a site history. There's a couple of applications with refusals, so I'm just summarising these here. So this was the 2022 application. It was for 3 terraced houses, and it was refused on an overdevelopment close to the boundaries, and there's 6 parking spaces here, so there was not enough chance to put some landscaping to soften the appearance. And then on this one as well, this was property C, and this fell short of the standards, so that was another reason for refusal. And if we go to the most recent application, it came in for, it was one building, one 3-storey building, but it was 4 flats. So there was 2 ground floor flats, 1 bedroom, and then the 3-bedroom flats above, maisonettes above. This one was refused on amenity and biodiversity grounds. Essentially, the 3-bed properties above the ones on this floor plan had this size garden here, which we didn't think was suitable, as though it was more akin to a house than a flat from the standards. And then there was also a concern that this square and this square of were the ground floor gardens for the flats, and they were directly overlooked by large living room windows of the above masonette. So the inspector agreed that it didn't provide suitable future occupier amenity, but they when they appealed the decision, but they didn't agree with us on the biodiversity ground reasons, because they were satisfied that the condition for enhancements would overcome that problem. And biodiversity is also kind of relevant in this application, as you see from the report. Because there's a loss of trees in the residential site, it means that it makes a negative biodiversity gain, so it doesn't make a gain. But they have confirmed that they will resolve this by credits, which is a suitable resolution, and that will be resolved through the standard BNG condition. So this is the floor plan of the application site that you see in front of you today. You'll see that the properties are staggered in arrangements, and they're also got a setback to add some interest into the elevations. The staggering in nature means it because where these properties have come forward, they've got a varying street distance from the highway. Regarding the parking, the properties both have 2 parking spaces meeting the interim parking standards. This parallel one is larger than the standard required, and therefore there's no concerns. There's also no concerns that providing the drop curbs here wouldn't have any significant impact on the loss of parking. There wouldn't be any significant highway safety issues related to that, and that was reflective of the other decisions which parking didn't and impact on highways didn't form reasons for refusals. Oh, sorry, and also, where I've said before, because they've only got the 2 parking spaces, there's opportunities to get soft landscaping at the front, which will help soften the street scene as well. So, sorry, back to this plan. The layouts on each property would have a large open plan kitchen, diner, living area, and a toilet on ground floor. Then these are the first floor properties, and you've got 2 double bedrooms, although one's depicted as an extra lounge, and then a single bed and a bathroom. And then on the top floor, they've got another 2 bedrooms and this inset outdoor amenity kind of area. And these are the plans. It's shown 3-storey. This is where it will be inset on these on this part of the elevation in here. And then that's the inset amenity area. The application form says that bricks will be matching, so they won't be green as depicted on this plan. And this is the side elevations, just showing there's no windows in the flanks. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Tom. I now open the floor to members. Any members? Councillor Galvin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is quite a good use of that derelict plot. I mean, it's only just, as the officer said, if you go along Cliffe Road, over the years there's been numerous developments placed in what was the long back gardens of the properties in Goddington Road. And I think we've got to be realistic that whilst this is only 2 properties, these small windfill sites certainly will, over a period of time, make a major contribution to the horrific housing numbers that we've got to accommodate here in Medway. From reading the report, the homes seem to be built to a reasonably good standard, room size like. The only question I've really got is it does seem to be very, very tight fit on the site. You know, I think it's 0.5 of a metre at one, it's mentioned, so there isn't much space left for doing any maintenance, but apart from that, I see no reason why we shouldn't approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member? Councillor Campbell.
Thank you. So I'm just curious about the angle for parking of that property, one being perpendicular to the other one. And I know Councillor Hubbard's already raised that question. I just want to understand why it's placed like that, and I'm trying to visualize how usable and practical it actually would be in real life. Could you just explain that a little bit? That would be really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I believe it's at this angle because if it was right angle to the road, you wouldn't be able to fit it in, and the property stepped forward more to lessen the impact on this neighbour. But Highways have commented that they're happy that there's significant room on that in this area for manoeuvre the car in and out. So that's why we have no objection to it.
Councillor Howcross, oh, sorry, did you want to come in, Dave?
Chair, thank you very much. Tom, can you go to the street scene photos? Because it's a good question, Councillor Campbell, but if you look at the street scene, that's it, the street scene photos, there are other parking spaces which are parallel, the ones that Tom's pointing out there, and they work.
Thank you. Councillor Howcross-Scott?
Thank you, Councillor Stamp. Smither asked about parking. I know the area quite well, and my worry is about pedestrian safety, but the street scene has kind of eliminated that. So my next question is the damage about the trees and the loss of biodiversity, please. Can somebody talk me through that? Thanks.
Tom, did you want to come in on that? Yeah. Or...
Okay, regarding the biodiversity, basically, it's a bit complicated written in the report, but to kind of simplify it, because it's already a residential garden, you can't count that when you put it in basically to get the biodiversity net gain, you put it into a spreadsheet, but it won't count trees, mitigation trees in a garden to offset it. So they have proposed extra trees to replace the trees that are lost, but they can't count towards biodiversity. So that's just a thing that might commonly happen in situations with these small redevelopment sites. But the solution to that is then to go through the mitigation writer, and the last one is if you can't provide it on site, that you do standard mitigation by credits from either the government or from the registered bank, if I remember off the top of my head. So in this situation, even though there isn't a loss because of that technicality where they can't put replacement trees into count, they have committed to offsetting that, and that will all be sorted out through the next stage of the process, which is the statutory biodiversity condition, which goes on automatically on all applications.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Councillor Filmer.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. There's no doubt about it, it's an infill site, and I come along with a very open mind on this one, and I appreciate what Councillor Galvin said, it's a bit tight, but looking at the street scene with the linked detached houses, perhaps if the ward councillors have been here to change my mind a little bit, I would have listened to them, but looking at this, I can't see any reason not to support the officer's recommendation on this.
Thank you, Councillor Filmer. Councillor Field.
Thank you, Chair. As a ward councillor here, I know this road quite well. I think I reflect a lot of the comments that have come here tonight. The one minor thing is there's no steps to the doors, so that'll save me with leaflets being delivered to these. But looking at the land, I think looking at the other properties nearby, it seems a sensible development. I did have some queries about the parallel parking nature and potential pedestrian access issues, but I think the answers from officers have assuaged those concerns. So thank you very much for the presentation tonight, and I look forward to voting for it.
Any other member? No. I sort of agree with members as well. I did have the concerns of how near it was to the boundary, sort of half a metre, then only a metre in between both properties. But having seen the presentation and the other properties in the area, I'm quite happy that it is in keeping. It's a lot better than the previous applications that they've put forward, so that I will therefore be supporting this application. So over to Vice Chairperson, Councillor Jones.
Thank you very much, Chair. Land between 46 and 52 Cliffe Road, Strood. Recommendation to approve the application with conditions 1 to 14 as set out in the report, and for members to please note that recommendation 14, condition 14, has been updated by the supplementary agenda. I so move.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Thank you. Those for the application?
That's 14, Chair.
The application is therefore approved. Now moving on to agenda item 6, planning application for 85 Shakespeare Road. Amy Shardlow, Senior Planner, will be presenting this application. So over to you, Amy.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good evening, members. The above site today is 85 Shakespeare Road, located in Gillingham. It's shown on the map here. The application seeks planning consent for the change of use of the existing vacant retail unit into a hot food delivery service, which would fall under a sui generis use. I would like to draw members' attention to the supplementary agenda, which highlights 3 additional objections and a slight description change to state that this is a delivery service. This slide shows the location of the shop, which is on the corner of Shakespeare Road and Montgomery Road, which leads towards Medway Hospital. The proposed elevations highlight that the external works are to the shop front, located here, and there is a flue located on the rear elevation. The proposed floor plans indicate 2 60-litre Euro bins, one which will provide recycling and one which will provide the general waste. The access into the site for the delivery drivers is located on the existing access, which is gated with a drop curb, and that's from Montgomery Road. These plans indicate the general layout of the store itself. These are some photos of the site. The site is located within 400 metres from a school. Therefore, they have proposed the following hours, which is from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m, and then from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. on Mondays to Thursdays, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m, and then 5 p.m. till midnight on Fridays. And then on Saturdays, it's 11 a.m. till midnight, and on Sundays, 11 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. This includes public holidays. These hours have been proposed to try and minimise the impact on the highways and avoid the school closure hours on health reasons. There are recommended conditions to help protect the amenity in the area, which is why the application has been recommended for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. I now move over to members. Any member? Oh, sorry. We'll now move over to Ward Member, Councillor Nesterova. You have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Chair, members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. While I fully recognize the importance of supporting local businesses, this particular application has raised serious and legitimate concerns among residents, concerns that must not be overlooked. If approved, this proposal would negatively impact the safety, well-being and quality of life in the area. Most concerningly, it poses a real risk to people needing urgent access to Medway Maritime Hospital, one of our most vital public services. Let me outline the key reasons why this application is unsuitable. So first is noise and late-night disturbance. Deliveries operating until midnight will create constant disruption from motorbike engines, slamming doors, and people coming and going. This is a quiet residential area, home to families, elderly residents, and shift workers. Persistent noise late into the night would seriously harm their ability to rest and enjoy peace in their own homes. Secondly, waste management issues. The plan is to store commercial bins at the rear of the property. However, the back access is too narrow for waste collection vehicles. In reality, bins are likely to end up on the pavements or on the road, cluttering the street and worsening an already untidy environment. 3, litter and fly tipping. This area already suffers from litter and illegal dumping. Fast food outlets inevitably contribute to this with wrappers, packaging, and containers often discarded nearby. Adding another takeaway would only make this problem worse. 4th, parking pressure. The site is within a controlled parking zone where residents already struggle to find space. A takeaway would bring extra cars and delivery vehicles, adding further strain. We know from experience that drivers often park irresponsibly on double yellow lines, across driveways, or even in the road. On narrow streets like Montgomery and Shakespeare, this creates safety hazards and daily frustration for residents. 5, access to the hospital. The applicant plans to use delivery vehicles and up to 3 motorbikes accessing the site via Montgomery Road, a narrow street that serves as a key route to Medway Maritime Hospital. This road is already under pressure, especially at peak times. Any increase in stopping, turning, or double parking could obstruct ambulances and delay emergency care. In critical situations, every second counts, and any added risk is unacceptable. 6, lack of local need. There are already several hot food takeaways within a 250-meter radius. The area is well served. Another outlet is unnecessary and would simply intensify existing problems without meeting any unmet demand. 7, public health concerns. This part of Medway already faces significant health inequalities. Studies clearly link high densities of fast food outlets to obesity, poor nutrition, and long-term health issues. We should be encouraging healthier choices, not adding to the problem, really. Proximity to schools. There are both primary and secondary schools within walking distance. Takeaways near schools undermine efforts to promote healthy eating and responsible lifestyle habits among children and young people. In conclusion, supporting small businesses is important, but not at the expense of residents' health, safety, or peace of mind. Once such a business is approved, its long-term impacts are difficult to control. This application is not suitable for this location, and the risks far outweigh any potential benefits. There is overwhelming opposition from local community, from residents, from all 3 ward councillors, and from our MP Nashabak Khan, who has submitted formal objections on behalf of constituents. This is clear and united voice from the people we represent. I urge you to listen and refuse this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor de Storova. I now open the floor to members. We have Councillor Galvin. Did you indicate, I think?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unfortunately, this is a site that is only too familiar for me. I think over the last 2 years, I must have driven backwards and forwards past this site several dozen times. And this, for me, this is a very finely balanced application. Whilst, quite rightfully, this authority has always been supportive of our small businesses here in Medway, and I think that's a right and proper thing for us to do. And certainly, small businesses at the moment need all the help they can get, given the shambolic government we've got at the moment. But these dark kitchen, which this is going to be, can still cause a huge amount. So in my own ward in Walderslade Village, there's a pizza shop which also does deliveries. The deliveries go backwards and forwards along a residential road, and when you've got hot weather like we've got at the moment, people, find it difficult to get their children to sleep with all the car doors slamming and the noise and disturbance. So I think personally I would be much happier if this property were converted to residential, which there is a huge need for. Whilst I think in Medway we do have a very good selection of takeaways of all different cuisines to choose from. Whilst I do understand some of the public health concerns, particularly if this were close to a school, but it's not, I think I'd be rather hypocritical in trying to argue that it should be turned down on the health grounds, because I must admit a king prawn jalfrezi with an onion bhaji is would go down very, very nicely. So to sum up, yes, this is balanced, but for me, the balance falls on the side of refusal. I think this will just be too much of an intense use into what is basically a residential area, although it's on the edge of a very busy route backwards and forwards to the hospital. I think we've got to take the local residents' fears into consideration, and there still could be a very useful purpose for this property if it were converted back to residential, which I assume it must have been at some time in the distant past. So for me, Madam Chair, I won't be supporting this.
Thank you. Councillor Hammond-Eshay.
Thank you, Chairperson. I don't believe this application is finely balanced at all. I think it weighs heavily in the favour of rejection. I think the representations articulate the challenges very, very well here. As somebody also who knows that road extremely well, I've travelled on it multiple times across different times of the day as well. If you look at it from the perspective of ambulance crew and the nature of the business that's being proposed, ambulance crews need to be able to focus primarily on the road safety and getting patients back and forth from the hospital. They don't need extra burden to look out for delivery drivers on a corner of a very busy road. And this is what we are looking to decipher whether or not this is a viable proposition or not. It's not just for that reason alone. Ambulance crew, we've visited CCAM in various committees and we know the pressures that they are under. So I'm really concerned that there was no direct representation from Medway Maritime Hospital or the ambulance crew here. But I can assure you they would not seek or think this is appropriate that just a few meters from their destination or leaving, they have to navigate, circumvent dark kitchens that work on a very time-sensitive operation, just-in-time food, because obviously the consumer wants their food warm and ready. Ambulance crew want the individual to be brought to a place of safety quickly as well, so that they're competing interests for the same physical space. So I'm with my colleague on this one in terms of I would rather that it was turned back into a residential and we don't set precedents around hospital facilities for having dark kitchens. I don't think it sends the right message at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Just note to the gallery, I know you're putting your hand up, but you're not actually allowed to speak. It's for observation only, and it's just between members. Thank you. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you. I wanted to start by thanking Councillor Nestor for coming here and speaking to us. One thing I noticed is that a lot of the objections raised by the councillor were around the fact that it would be a takeaway. But the report actually talks about the fact that there's a distinction there, a dark kitchen and takeaway. Now, I'm not actually convinced that that kind of is enough of a mitigation for some of the concerns that people are raising. So obviously, if people, just normal people, are not turning up there to collect their food, as in a traditional takeaway, there are still going to be delivery drivers there who are delivering to customers. So I wondered how you're gauging the difference in traffic there and parking requirements. How have you gauged that as that is acceptable and a normal takeaway is not? So if you could just clarify that. I feel that delivery drivers tend to be a law unto themselves, and there are just people generally are very unhappy with the way they kind of come up, park. And if this dark kitchen is open till 11 p.m., that's still considerable disruption, I think, in a predominantly residential area. People are not going to want that. And yes, I echo all the other concerns raised about access for emergency vehicles, just the noise and the smell and everything. But I'm not sure I understand how you think a dark kitchen is acceptable, but a takeaway is not. So I'd like to understand that. Thank you.
You come in, Pete, on that, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that the distinction is quite critical, I think, as you've pointed out. I think the key thing is that when you're a customer and you go to collect your food that you may have pre-ordered or that you're going to order at the premises, you want to park as close as possible, and obviously this property doesn't have any off-street parking for customers, so there will be, for want of a better word, probably abandonment of cars in the immediate vicinity. I know the area very well. I think in terms of the site location plan, I used to live on the street just to the north of where the site is. So it's I know the pressures, the parking pressures around there, and we were quite clear that takeaway, that collection element wouldn't be acceptable. The distinction between running that and a delivery service only is that the applicant and the operator would then have complete control on the service. So we are then able to put those conditions on and enforce those against the applicant, because they have control as to where their delivery drivers park and what they do for their arrangements. So you can see on that top right photograph there, that sort of black solid gate is an existing vehicular access into the site with a drop curb onto the road. So the proposal is to use delivery bikes, which would be parked within the site and therefore wouldn't interrupt the free flow of traffic, either on the approach to the hospital or on the surrounding roads either. And so that's the distinction between the sort of delivery element and what would be a traditional takeaway and collection element. Thank you.
Yeah, come back, Councillor Campbell, yeah.
So just to clarify, that access is only suitable for two-wheelers, but not for cars? That drop curb and access that you just mentioned?
I think if you have, could you put the block plan up? Yeah, so if you put the block plan,
from the gallery,
if you have a look at the block
can you not
plan,
talk, please, because it disturbs it and you'll have to be removed if you carry on disturbing the meeting. I know it's frustrating, but we can't have disturbance. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Councillor Campbell. As you can see from the block plan there, the depth of the site, I would suggest, is not large enough to get a four-wheel vehicle in, either as a car or anything larger than a car, but which is why they're proposing two-wheeler delivery vehicles.
Thank you. Now moving on to Councillor Filmer.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you very much to the ward member coming along. It's always good to hear some local knowledge on things like this. I've never heard this terminology, dark kitchen. I know of quite a few warehousing up in London that just do different cuisines and people come and pick them up. We've heard about the delivery drivers with two wheels. Unfortunately, when they bring all the things along, the goods that they need to cook and everything, they're on four wheels. So looking at we all know what the parking problems are in that area. So listening to the ward councillor and their concerns of the residents, I'm very mindful that this isn't the best application, and residential would be better, and a little bit of warehousing somewhere to do a dark kitchen would probably be better. Thank you.
Councillor Hellcroft-Scott.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I thought you hadn't seen me, but I obviously know I'm big enough. Can I say thank you, the ward councillor, that vital on-the-ground experience, and the three of you thinking the same. Your speech was very, very eloquent, and I think speaks for your community in which you're elected to serve. So thank you very much for that. I am troubled and concerned by this. It's a bit more clear-cut for me, not just because I chair Children's Committee and I mean, you know, it's the 63,000 children in Medway, but it's the cluster of fast food establishments around that way, the cluster of deprivation, the cluster of health inequalities, and also it is a hotspot for emergency services. So on those bases, I'm not in favour of this. But planning is quasi-judicial, and I'm very sad that Councillor Golding is not celebrating the fact that we're one of the fastest growing economies in the G7. You never spoke about the lettuce and what she did to our communities in her 56 days of service.
Okay,
People are still recovering from the debt she caused. Don't bring politics into this, thanks.
Now move over to Councillor Peake.
Where am I? Thank you, Chair. Oh yeah, I was disappointed, Councillor Golding, you made that little dig, totally inappropriate. I do listen to you, and I've listened to the other colleagues. I've gone on a little journey because I too want to encourage as much growth in Medway as possible. So normally my initial reaction will be, here's a potential for business, let's support it. However, listen to everybody on this committee and to the very, very well put statement made by the council representing the ward. I wouldn't even say this is in the balance. To me, this is a no-brainer. This should not be supported. Although maybe I haven't quite got a planning reason, because my main reason is cynicism. I was going to ask about WO lines, but you said there's access. But whatever conditions are imposed, and however hard, and you are a very diligent, hard-working team, no matter how hard you may police something like this, I just don't believe it. They may well claim we're going to shut doors very quietly and we're not going to be loud and we're not going to shout and we're not going to rev engines. They may say that we will always bother to go through that access and not park their bikes on the pavement, or if they ever use any vans on WO line. I mean, there's a reason for WO lines. I just don't believe that is going to be the reality. So I'm not quite sure if that's a planning consideration, but that's my, that's my drive, if you like, why I will not support this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Now we've got Councillor Field.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to the ward councillor for their representations. I think very, very similar concerns given the location and access to and from a hospital, given the fact that this is the main entrance, given the fact that it's an A&E and ambulances will need to get in, and a poorly parked vehicle, even if it's there for 30 seconds, could cause significant delay, does concern me on this site. I'm looking at the design and access statement on the planning pages, and it really doesn't seem to cover enough depth. I think it would have been useful to see a delivery and servicing plan, given the sensitive location of this site. I'm aware I may or may not use food delivery services in the local area, but I'm from that, the experience for customers would be a mix of vehicles, both two-wheelers and more conventional four-wheelers. And I'm not sure that there is any ability to ensure, and again, given that the drivers themselves are under quite strict time and quality provisions in that there is any way that we can get reassurance that there wouldn't be four-wheelers that potentially are blocking up the double yellow. I mean, one potential way you could do that is also to put blips on that and have no loading provisions on that key access, or consider red routing it. But for me, on the basis of the information that I see here in the application, I can't really see that anything that would assuage those fundamental concerns amongst the servicing of this location. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Field. Councillor Anang?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think from what the statement, my point is that though it's a dark kitchen, there will still be delivery of stuff to be used for the preparing the food. So even talking about using the tools, still if they are going to deliver stuff for the preparation of the food, where would those drivers, because definitely it's going to be very big, maybe every HVG or something vehicles, where are they going to park before they do the delivery? So it's not just going to be the delivering drivers, but we should also start looking at those who come and deliver stuff to be used for the preparation of the food at the dark kitchen. So taking that into consideration, and then the restricted parking around that area, I don't think it's a very good proposal for that area. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other member? Oh, sorry. Councillor Gilbourne, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I just want to add that I don't like the application. I mean, I can see why, from planning terms, it would be recommended, but I just don't like it because of all the parking issues, the noise to neighbours. It's generally a residential area anyway, and the fact that there are so many other takeaways within quite close proximity. But I just wanted to ask the Chief Planning Officer about the likelihood, if we did reject it, an appeal, is there a sense it could be overturned because of the fact that it does meet policy? Thank you.
Chair, thank you very much. There's always a possibility that appeals can get overturned. I can't say that there would never be a chance of that. What I would say is that even as officers, even though we've recommended approval to it, we found it finely balanced. We could have gone either way. So I think listening to members, there is a case that can be argued on appeal, should members be minded to refuse.
Any other member? No. So me, myself, I have a lot of issues with this planning application as well, not only with it being near a school, it's near Medway Hospital with sick patients. I work in the top of a disablement centre where you've got people who've lost limbs due to diabetes, and, you know, putting that there, that can encourage people to eat unhealthily. We should be encouraging them to make healthy choices. I know this area quite well in the fact that I used to live in Shakespeare Road. It's a very built-up residential area. There isn't much space. We've mentioned the parking where you can't park. Although there's access to the rear of this dark kitchen for motorbikes, in reality, when they're in a rush, they're just going to quickly stop off, double yellows, grab the food and go. That's the reality. Sturdy Avenue is absolute chaos with vehicles there, the delivery drivers, blocking pavements, parking illegally, and we really can't afford to have that in this area. Working in Medway Hospital, in the outbuilding, I see every single day, mornings now and afternoons, queuing all the way along Montgomery Road, queuing up Rock Avenue. The ambulances have to rely on this clear strip of road to get seriously ill patients whose lives are at risk into the hospital. So that is the biggest thing. And also, but it's for the families, the young children, putting up the smells, the noise, the door banging. You know, they're saying it's just motorbikes, but you've got the deliveries as well. There's just so many things that I do not like about this application. I will therefore not be supporting it, and will now hand over to Vice Chairperson, Councillor Jones.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Can I, with the indulgence of the committee, please read out the correct proposal, because the proposal is altered in terms of the supplementary agenda. Conversion of the existing Class E retail shop into a Class sui generis hot food delivery, along with the installation of a kitchen extraction system, is the proposal to replace the wording as set out in the report. In light of the fact, Chair, that I haven't heard a single member support the application, I don't intend to move the officer recommendation. Having checked with the legal officer I can do this, I intend to go straight for 85 Shakespeare Road to a reason for refusal, and I'll read that out now. The proposed use as a hot food delivery service with its associated traffic movements would result in additional noise and disturbance to neighbouring properties in a predominantly residential area, which would result in significant harm to the amenity of the occupiers. I so move refusal on that basis, Chair.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Dave, over to you.
Chair, thank you very much. During the debate, I've been liaising with the development manager, and I think that's a very sound reason for refusal. So thank you for that, Councillor Jones. But just listening particularly to the way Councillor Anang articulated the delivery aspects there, I would suggest, listening to members, that there is maybe a second reason for refusal, which refers to the lack of a delivery and service plan and that impact on the highway as well.
Is that agreed to add that in? Yeah. Okay. Is that seconded? Thank you. Those for refusal?
That's 14, Chair.
The application is therefore refused. Right, thank you, officers and members. That is now the end of tonight's Planning Committee.